Hey there, Algebra 2 students. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the special right triangles from lesson 9.1 before we go on and talk about some of the homework from 9.1 part B. So we have these two special right triangles. This one is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. And notice I have the sides lengths 1, 1, and the square root of 2. You could say it's 1x, and the square root of 2 times x. Meaning that the sides are always in that proportion when there's a 45, 45, 90 triangle. You need to know this triangle. It's been hanging on the wall in my classroom for years. You need to have it in your head. Here is the 30, 60, 90 triangle. The 1 is always opposite the 30 degrees. The 2 is always opposite the right angle. And the square root of 3 is always opposite the 60. Again, with like the 45, 45, 90 triangle, you could put x's here. So 1x, 2x, and the square root of 3 times x. In a 30, 60, 90 triangle, all 30, 60, 90 triangles have sides that are in those proportions, right? They are all similar to one another in that way. So you also want to have this triangle in your head, commit it to memory, use it as a reference on your test, like draw this the first thing you do when you get a test to help you work out certain problems. Let's take a look at the homework then. So question 1 says, it just says find the value of x for the right triangle. It says 9, it gives you the 60-degree angle, and it says x. Well, if that angle is 60 degrees, then the other angle is 30, right? That means that that is 30 degrees. And so 30-degree angle is always opposite the shortest side in the 30, 60, 90 triangle. And your hypotenuse is always twice the length of the shortest side. So you do 9 divided by 2 to get x. And 9 divided by 2 is just 4.5. 4.5. So then let's take a look at number 2. It says find the value of x for the right triangle. Again, they give you the small angle, right? They give you the 30 degrees, they give you the hypotenuse is 12, and you need to find x, which is opposite of the 30-degree angle. So if it's opposite the 30 degrees, it's the shortest side, and that's half the length of the hypotenuse for a 30, 60, 90 triangle. And half of 12 is 6. So then it says find the value of x for the right triangle, and you have a leg of length 8, and you can see that it's a 45, 45, 90 triangle. And they ask you to find the length of the other leg. Here's the thing, for the 45, 45, 90 triangles, those triangles are isosceles triangles because if this is 45, then this is 45. And if those two angles are 45 degrees, then the legs have the same length, right? So this is 8, then this is also 8. Boom. All right, let's talk about question 4 quickly. For question 4, they just give you that B is 36, C is 90 degrees, and little a is 23. So we start by finding the third angle, and we do that by subtracting from 180, right? So we do 180 minus 90 gives us 90. Subtract from that 36, and we get 54. So capital A, our angle A is 54 degrees. And then I start filling in the picture what things I know, right? I know that this is 54 degrees. I know that this is 36 degrees. And I know that this side here is 23. I need to find little b, little c, those two sides. So then I need to ask myself, okay, what trig function relates the angle that I have here, capital B, right? 36 degrees. And the side that I have, 23, and B. Little b is opposite. This side here is adjacent. Which trig function uses opposite and adjacent? Oh, right, that's tangent. Yep. So we come over here and we do tangent of 36 degrees is equal to b over 23, right? B is the opposite, 23 is the adjacent. But we need to solve for b. So we start by multiplying both sides by 23. We want to plug this into our calculator. 23 times the tangent of 36 degrees. Make sure that your calculator is in degree mode and not radian mode. That will give you very different answers. But if your calculator is in degree mode and you can just type in 23 times the tangent of 36, you should get 16.71. Then we still need to find c, right? So what trig function relates the hypotenuse, c, with this adjacent side and this angle 36 that we were given? Adjacent hypotenuse, so TOA. That would be cosine, right? Cosine of 36 is equal to 23 over c. My goal this time is to solve for c, so I'll multiply both sides by c. So I have c times the cosine of 36 degrees equals 23. I want to get c by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by cosine of 36 degrees. And I type that into my calculator, 23 divided by the cosine of 36 degrees, and I get 28.4. Boom. That's number 4. All right, let's move on to number 5. 25 is very similar to not 25. 5 is similar to 4 in that they give us 2 angles and a side, and we need to find the other things. So I do 90 minus 43 to get 47, which is capital B, right? And then I use the angle that they gave me just in case I made a mistake in figuring out this angle. I want to use the information that we started with, right? So 43 degrees. And they gave us B. So how can we find A? What trig function relates A to the 31 to angle 43? Opposite, adjacent. That's right. It would be tangent again, right? So we do tangent of 43 degrees is equal to A over 31. My goal is to solve for A, so I multiply both sides by 31. I get A equals 28.91. Fill that in here. And then I say, well, what trig function, if I need to solve for C, what trig function relates the 43, the 31, and C? So that's the angle, adjacent, hypotenuse, adjacent, and hypotenuse. Again, that would be cosine. So we do cosine of 43 is equal to 31 over C. My goal is to solve for C, so I multiply both sides by C. So I have C times the cosine of 43 degrees equals 31. Divide both sides by cosine of 43. And you get C equals 42.39. And we would enter that in right there. Okay. Real quick, question 6. Question 6 says, to measure the width of a river, I can't hold that still. Okay, you plant a stake on one side of the river directly across from a boulder. You then walk 100 meters to the right of the stake and measure a 79-degree angle between the stake and the boulder. What is the width, W, of the river? Round your answer to the nearest meter. Okay, we look at the lovely little triangle that they have given us. W, 79 degrees, 100 meters. We need to solve for W. What trig function relates W? This angle of 79 degrees and this 100 meters. So W is opposite, 100 is adjacent to the 79 degrees. So tangent, right? Tangent of 79 is equal to W over 100. Our goal is to solve for W, so we multiply both sides by 100. We type into our calculator 100 times tangent of 79, And we get W equals approximately 514 meters. I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that you continue to show your work and continue to stay healthy. We'll see you next time.